Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips brought to you by Adobe's Photoshop Elements Independent Tutorials Group. And let's dive right in. The poster today brought us a photo here that was photoshopped, element shopped. And it was a really good job was done here and brought this gentleman in here, and it looks really good. First thing I'm noticing though is there's a quality loss. So if you look at the original here, you see how sharp it is when you zoom in, and you do the same thing with the poster's picture. You can see the difference between the quality is huge. So something happened in the edit between this original, look at the face here, and look at the copy. So you lost a lot of quality here. Look at her face, you can't see the definition, and now you can. So let's see what we can do here. Let's first off start with the original of the single gentleman here, and we'll just go ahead and cut him out. I'm going to take an eraser, and we pick the layer, and we're going to erase him out. Grab the eraser, 5-point soft brush, and it might actually be a little bit too big. I'm going to go with a 4-point brush. We're going to zoom in and get in really close and just start brushing out, making sure that we don't leave any of the original at all. So it's okay to cut in on him a little bit, because it's better to cut a little bit in on him, on his colors, rather than to leave a little bit of the colors of the next object, which is in this case the truck. So and there we go. We finished cutting him out completely. Now I grab the polygon tool, and we're going to cut out in between the background and him. Our cutout between our eraser line, and make sure that we don't touch any one of those. Like I always say, if you ever played that game Doctor and you're able to string that metal hoop around the poles without touching the sides, then you win, and that means you'd be a good Photoshop artist. We can see what's going on here. I will hit right click and choose select inverse, which uses everything but him. Hit the delete button, and we get rid of the background. And I'll Control D gets rid of my polygon line around, and now we got a freestanding person to use in any photo. So I'm going to draw a square right here. Right click and say copy. Now I can hold the shift and drag the whole piece out further and stretch the door further to the right, which gives me enough room to bring the whole photo, the forefront of our images, our characters, over a little bit enough where the door where the whole thing is centered. But now we got a little bit of a line here. Let's get rid of that by clicking on that layer, grab an eraser. Let's go 200 point. This is perfect. And watch this little line here where it gets darker on the door, because that was the edge. I'm going to grab this here and shift click and just swipe up, and there goes that line. It just hides the fact that the door used to be there, now it's here. You can't even tell. So let's go ahead and cut him out completely. And I'm going to cut him out by cutting everything else out around him. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Now this is just a test, because if it doesn't work, then we'll just have to cut him out carefully. And I'm going to hold shift and do a straight to try to get over that line. Do a nice big circle around here, and we can soften that up later. and cut him out carefully. And after we do this, we're just about finished, we'll grab the polygon tool and cut him out, just like we did with the other gentleman. Just like we did with the first gentleman, we're going to right click, select the inverse, and hit delete. And there goes that portion. What happened to the background now? What do we do? Well, guess what? We made a copy of it before, so we can just bring it right back. And now we can grab this guy and put him wherever we want. Let's bring him to the front layer, though. Oh, by the way, let's go ahead and bring his friend over here. We're going to bring that guy in. So we're going to place him somewhere around here and then grab his friend. Here. And put him somewhere around here. What do we do about the background? Let's see. Why don't we go back to the original picture? Let's fix this area here and then reproduce it. So we got us an R here. It's going to be a little bit of work to do, but I think it's worth it. That he's in front of. As a matter of fact, I want to grab a large portion of this to cover him up. As a matter of fact, this will be a good idea to do. Check this out. I think you're going to like this. We're kind of making it up as we go along. Seriously. Okay, so we're grabbing this section. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to drag this over to here. And there goes our subject. And I'm going to make this portion see-through. And then I'm going to zoom in and match the R's. See that? Go like this. It's right around there. We like it. Bring that back up to 100%. And, oh, you know what? We need to get rid of the corners where it's matching, or it's covering the letters underneath here. So we'll take a soft brush because we need to soften the difference between the other one, the layer behind and front. So take a soft eraser and erase all around this portion. And then do the same thing with the S. I think it's not here, but just in case. Bring that up to 100%. Now we can see exactly what it is that we need to get rid of. We got rid of that. So now we replace the R in a lot of the space in front of him. These are a little bit off, but you know what? I think it's okay because there should be people standing in front of it where it won't make that big a difference. If there is, we can fix it then. Let's do a little bit with the color change. So we take the top layer, go to Enhance, Lighting, Brightness and Contrast. It's a little too bright, so, or it might be the contrast, so we just lessen the contrast. And you can do like Extreme to see what it is. Let's try the brightness instead. There's a lot less, there's a lot more. And just don't even look at the moving scale. Look at the picture and go purposely one way than the other until you find that happy medium where it all blends in. -8. That's pretty good. Then we take the contrast and bring it down. And it starts to blend in. grab a little bigger than we want, because we can always make it, reduce it, make it smaller. I'm going to copy that and drag that over into our new piece that we're working on. Not that one, this one. And we'll place it back here. Let's bring it over to the one level above the background, and then we can turn everything else off. Boom, boom. Let's see. I'm going to lessen the opacity to try to match this line with the line underneath. That's pretty darn close. Let's go ahead and make the layer 100%. But now we got the layer in front of this guy here, so now we can cut around that eraser and zoom in real pretty tight. And we're going to erase right along this guy's edge. Just fade it out. I'm not sure we're going to keep that or not, that portion, so we'll find out. Let's cut this whole thing out. And we get rid of that portion there, which gives us the edge along him. So now the background, this is what we're doing, is fixing the background. This is based upon the fact that this guy wants to be, you know, around here, and let's put him next to it and see how the sign is still back there. So we didn't have to move it all that much. And it works. Works good. Now let's do something, because he's going to be on top of her, so let's go ahead and cut her out. We will turn everything else off but our background, and let's cut her out where she intersects. And let's go ahead and duplicate her. So now we got a copy of her. Bring her up to the front. And I don't know if it's going to work on the very front. Turn everything back on. Boom, boom, boom. And now we've got her in front of him, next to him. And we got them kind of where we want them. Let's go a layer underneath. So that's going to be between here and here. We'll right click and we'll just add a layer, an empty layer. And grab a black brush. Boom. Brush, make it a nice soft one. And go, I don't know, 50 point maybe? Of here. And I just gave a little bit of a shadow. Now we're going to take the merge feature and merge them with everything else. So that they match. Like this isn't really there that much. Let's get rid of these lines here. Basically, what we want to do is just grab, you do with the polygon, but lasso tool. Grab something similar around the same area. So I'm going to do this and copy that. Bring that over to here. We can make it quite a bit bigger without it being too obvious. And we can also turn it a little bit. And now we'll just lessen its opacity so we know exactly where we want to erase. Grab a big eraser. Let's do 100 point. And go to both sides. Bring this back up to 100%, and there it goes. It's gone. You can do a little bit of smudging here. It's not really noticeable. It could just be debris or whatever. Let's go to this side. We want to do the same thing over here. Go down to the bottom layer. Grab a lasso. And since it's going into this section here, we can actually grab this whole section and just enlarge it. I'm going to copy that. Literally just take the whole section and go boom. Now take an eraser and erase it. I want to look at how close I can get, which is not very. So it's going to have this kind of a merging. It could be like that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take the merge brush, 75 point, and do a little bit of smudging here with this. And that's the shadow, so it kind of gradually goes up. It could be part of the truck. All right, so I think that's about it. Here we go. We like the picture that we've fixed, except for this little spot here. Let's go ahead and fix that. Grab the background. Grab our lasso. And copy that. Bring that down here. Actually, you know what? Let's try something else. Let's grab the lasso. Copy a section that has already some shadow. I'm going to copy that. And just match it up right there. We like that. Okay, I'm going to toggle it on and off so I can kind of remember where that piece was. Grab our eraser. We can use the 100 point for up here. And as soon as we get closer to our area that's more critical, we make the brush smaller. And I can toggle this back and forth and see how close I can get. Make this 30 point. Toggle back and forth and just come out to there. And that's about it. All right. We like how that came out. Let's go ahead and take all of our layers, because now we're going to do a full-on color correction for the whole piece. We'll save that in case our color correction goes bad. We're going to take all the layers, right-click, and merge them. Now it's one. Now we can do an Enhance, Smart Fix, and we can go to Lighting, Brightness. Let's bring the whole thing up a little brighter. And I guess leave the contrast there as before. After, we brighten up everything a little bit. We like that. Last thing is we're going to level the whole thing because it was a little cockeyed. Bring it over like this. Hit yes. Go to our cropping tool and recrop this a little bit smaller. And because we really don't need the whole truck. I think something like around here is nice. Because if you're going to put a frame around this, then you want to leave a little bit extra. And that looks good. We like that. And we're going to go ahead and crop it. And there we go. This was another quick tips tutorial from TVP Live. And that's it. Over and out. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Bye.